Bible characters, Genesis Series 2, Part 2. Rebekah. Rebekah is a biblical figure who was the wife of Isaac and the mother of Jacob and Esau. She is one of the most prominent women in the Hebrew Bible. Bethuel, her father, was from Paddan Aram. Laban was her brother. Milcah was her grandmother. Nahor, her grandfather, who was Abraham's brother. Abraham sent a servant to find a wife for Isaac. The servant prayed that God would indicate the right woman by having her provide water for him and his camels. Rebekah came to the well and provided water for the servant and his camels. The servant took Rebekah back to Isaac. Rebekah convinced Jacob to trick Isaac into blessing him instead of Esau. Rebekah told Jacob to run away to Laban. She told Isaac she was sending Jacob away so he wouldn't marry a Canaanite woman. Rebekah is considered one of the matriarchs in the ancestor stories of Genesis. She is considered an admirable and assertive woman. The story of Rebekah is one of the most profound narratives in the Bible, offering deep insights into faith, divine providence, and the complexities of family dynamics. As one of the matriarchs of Israel, Rebekah's life provides valuable lessons for believers today. This post seeks to examine her role as a matriarch, her demonstration of faith, and the lasting legacy she left behind. Rebekah's marriage to Isaac was not just a personal union, but a strategic alliance that ensured that the continuation of Abraham's covenant with God. Her role as a matriarch, therefore, was not merely domestic. It was central to the unfolding of God's redemptive plan. What are the key events in Rebekah's life? Number 1, barrenness and the birth of Esau and Jacob. Like her mother-in-law Sarah, Rebekah faced the challenge of barrenness. For 20 years, she and Isaac waited for children, a period marked by prayer and faith in God's promises. When Rebekah finally conceived, her pregnancy was difficult, with the twins struggling within her. Concerned, Rebekah sought God's guidance, and he revealed to her a prophecy that would shape the future of her family and the nations. Genesis chapter 25, verse 23. 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you shall be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other. The older shall serve the younger. This prophecy foreshadows the tension between Israel, Jacob's descendants, and Edom, Esau's descendants, highlighting the complexities of God's chosen people and the unfolding of his plan. The struggle within Rebekah's womb symbolizes the larger conflict that would play out in the history of these 2 nations. Number 2, the deception to secure Jacob's blessings. Rebekah's involvement in securing Isaac's blessing for Jacob instead of Esau is one of the most controversial aspects of her story. When Isaac, old and blind, decided to bless Esau, Rebekah took decisive action to ensure that Jacob received the blessing in alignment with the prophecy she had received from God. She instructed Jacob to deceive his father by pretending to be Esau, ensuring that the blessing, which carried both spiritual and material significance, went to the younger son. Genesis chapter 27, verse 5 to 17. This event has been interpreted differently across various religious traditions. In Jewish tradition, Rebekah's actions are often seen as a fulfillment of God's will, reflecting her spiritual insight and determination to align her family with the divine plan. In Christian tradition, her actions are sometimes viewed more critically, emphasizing the moral complexities of her deception. Despite these differing perspectives, Rebekah's story challenges us to consider the tension between divine sovereignty and human responsibility and the ethical implications of our decisions. Rebekah's role as a matriarch is central to her legacy. As the wife of Isaac and the mother of Jacob and Esau, her decisions directly influenced the future of Israel. In later biblical references and religious traditions, Rebekah is remembered as a woman of great faith, wisdom, and determination. Her legacy is evident in the nation of Israel, which descended from her son Jacob, who was later renamed Israel. Rebekah's influence extends beyond her immediate family. Her story is a testament to the ways in which God can use individuals to fulfill his purposes, even when their actions are complex and morally ambiguous. Rebekah's life encourages us to consider the impact of our decisions and the legacy we leave for the future generations. In both Jewish and Christian traditions, she is revered as a matriarch whose faith and actions were instrumental in the unfolding of God's plan. Here are the 10 key lessons from Rebekah's life as recorded in the Bible and how they can be applied to our lives. Number 1, trust in divine guidance. Rebekah's story begins with divine intervention. When she is chosen to be Isaac's wife, her selection was guided by God, answering the servant's specific prayer for a sign. This teaches us to trust in God's guidance in our lives, especially when making important decisions. We are reminded to seek God's will through prayer and to trust that he will lead us in the right direction. What's the implication? In moments of uncertainty, seek God's guidance through prayer and be attentive to how he might be leading, even through everyday circumstances. Number 2, embrace courageous faith. When asked if she was willing to leave her family and go with a stranger to marry Isaac, Rebekah responded with, "I will go." Genesis chapter 24, verse 58. This demonstrates her courageous faith as she was willing to step into the unknown because she trusted in God's plan. What's the implication? When faced with life changes or decisions that require stepping out of your comfort zone, embrace a courageous faith, trusting that God's plan is good. Number 3, demonstrate hospitality and kindness. Rebekah's hospitality at the well, where she offered water to the servant and his camel, is a powerful example of her loving kindness. Her willingness to serve others without hesitation reflects a heart aligned with God's values. What's the implication? Practice kindness and hospitality in your daily life. Look for opportunities to serve others, even in small ways, as a reflection of God's love. Number 4, be willing to act decisively. Rebekah was not passive. She took decisive action when necessary, such as when she ensured that Jacob received Isaac's blessing. While her methods were complex, her willingness to act showed her commitment to God's revealed will. What's the implication? In situations where action is needed, don't be afraid to step forward. Seek wisdom from God and be prepared to act decisively in alignment with His will. Number 5, understand the importance of family influence. As a mother, Rebekah played a pivotal role in shaping the destinies of her sons, Jacob and Esau. Her guidance and decisions had a lasting impact on their lives and on the future of Israel. What's the implication? Recognize the influence you have on your family. Whether you are a parent, sibling, or a mentor, use your influence to guide others in faith and righteousness. Number 6, value patience in God's timing. Rebekah, along with Isaac, waited 20 years for children. Their patience and faith during this time teach us the importance of trusting in God's timing, even when it requires waiting. What's the application? Be patient and trust in God's timing for the desires of your heart. Remember that His plans are perfect, even when they take longer to unfold than you expect. Number 7, reflect on the consequences of deception. Rebekah's decision to help Jacob deceive Isaac led to significant family conflict and long-term consequences. This serves as a reminder that our actions, especially when they involve deception, can have far-reaching effects. What's the implication or what's the application? Strive for honesty and integrity in your actions. Consider the long-term impact of your decisions and seek to align your actions with God's principles. Number 8, recognize God's sovereignty. Despite the complexities of Rebekah's actions, God's plan ultimately prevailed. Her story illustrates that God is sovereign and can work through our imperfections to fulfill His purposes. What's the application? Trust in God's sovereignty, knowing that He is in control and that His plans will prevail even when life seems uncertain or when we make mistakes. Number 9, navigate family conflicts with wisdom. The tension between Jacob and Esau, fueled by Rebekah's involvement, highlights the importance of navigating family conflicts with wisdom. While conflicts are inevitable, how we handle them can determine the outcome. What's the application? In times of family conflict, seek wisdom and conflict. Seek wisdom and less conflict. Seek wisdom and guidance from God. Aim for peace and resolution, being mindful of the impact your actions may have on future relationships. Number 10, leave a legacy of faith. Rebekah's life and decisions left a lasting legacy that shaped the nation of Israel. Her faith and actions influenced generations, demonstrating the importance of leaving a legacy grounded in faith. What's the implication? What's the application? Consider the legacy you are building through your daily actions and decisions. Strive to leave a legacy of faith, love, and commitment to God that will inspire future generations. These lessons offer us a blueprint for living a life of faith, courage, and integrity. By applying these principles, we can navigate our own lives with wisdom and trust in God's sovereign plan. This is Her Grace, Prophetess, Professor Abigail Carol Smanya, PhD, at Visions of Glory International. Shalom.